ladies. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
Jeanette.
everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor, and good afternoon, our listening audience, our supporters, friends, family, loved ones. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. This is just, as usual, a conversation and a conversation that we pray and hope will definitely have an impact on you. But before we even get to the conversation, Janelle, how you doing? Pastor, how you doing?
I'm
Are you
doing
as
I'm doing
excited as I am?
fantastic.
I'm well.
I'm
Thank
doing I'm
you.
doing great. I'm really doing good. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for another day, and I'm really excited about today's show. And I'm super excited about our guest today.
Yes, 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 yes. We have Pastor Timothy. Am I saying that correctly?
Correct. But you can call me Angie. Agnes,
Angie.
Ivy, however.
Angie, we are friends here. We are sisters
I
here.
like
So
that. I like
Angie,
that.
Angie, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Chit Chat
Yes.
with the Journey Sisters. It is definitely a privilege to be here, to be on this platform where we can reach like minded, where we can invite like minded individuals here with us, and we can reach a plethora, a wide variety, a wide audience that might have the experience that we're having, have been through an experience, and might still be dealing with it. And we're here as your voice. I am Alicia Alexander. I'll tell you more about me if you have never seen the show before. But I'm going to allow our guest to introduce herself first, tell us about us, and just go right ahead, Pastor. Angie. Let me say Angie.
Yes, please.
Go
Please
right
do.
ahead.
Please do. My name is Agnes Timothy, my government name, that is. And I hail from the beautiful island of Grand Bahama in the Bahamas, where that's right, 4224.
That's right.
Yes, yes. And I am a mother of three boys,
Oh,
26, 17, and 13. Yes. And I was also still trying to get back there, but also an aerobic instructor where I led a group of female, and I also have a women's group or facilitate a women's group called My Name Is Not Leah, where I am also that is currently ongoing. That is ministry, if we should say. And also in the Bahamas, a charitable organization called Array of Sunshine Clothing Drive. I am an author of two books, one in waiting. Actually, it's right around the corner. It's an anthology with nine different women where we write about things like, I'm just going to give you a little snippet. It's called Smile First, where we learn to take care of ourselves first in order for us to be able to take care of others. And that's what it's called, Smile First. And I am an ordained pastor to Kingdom Living Ministries International, based in Georgia, but I am here in Florida.
I can't. After you said so much, I can't. Janelle, how do
Honey.
we do? And I don't even think that she mentioned everything.
No,
I
I'm
think
sure
she
she
just
didn't.
No,
she
I
just
didn't.
mentioned what top it is. How do we do that? How is it that we wear so many hats but still walk around balanced?
We
It's
do well.
amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
is amazing. It is.
thank you so much, Miss Angie. Janelle,
Yes,
hold
I'm
on.
so excited today, Miss Angie, to have you on. I bet you she can cook. She's from the Bahamas, and so we know exactly how to cook and how to
Hmm,
put it down. So I'm pretty sure she didn't mention that, but that's one of
Yeah.
her gifts too. But you know me, I am Janelle V. I am your life fulfillment coach. And yes, Alicia, I do wear many hats. And sometimes one of the hats tip over the scale and go in directions that it shouldn't. But I'm an author as well. And I am excited to be a part of Miss Timothy's book. You know
Yes.
me, you know how I do it.
Yes.
I'm gonna be the chapter that they read over and over again because I'm gonna really
Yes.
tell it how it
I know.
is. And that's why I'm so glad that you were a part of this platform today and that Alicia stepped out in faith and said, you know what, I'm going to create a platform and an environment for us to share, be transparent about the journey that we're on, where we are, where we're going, and where we hope to arrive to. And any way along the way, you can find yourself on one of these journeys with Chit Chat with the Journey Sisters. And so I'm excited to do that. I do so many other things, but one of the things that I just love to tell people is I'm purpose driven. I believe that in order for you to be successful in any facet of your life, you have to understand the purpose of a thing. And the main important thing is understanding who you are, understanding why you are, and understanding where you are right now and where you need to be, and allowing God to order your steps. Because a lot of times we fight against God because we don't know where we're supposed to be. And God, yeah, you say I'm supposed to be this person, but I want to be that. And we're out of alignment. So my job as a life fulfillment coach is to help you find the highest version of yourself, become the version that God really intended for you to be, not the version everybody spoke about or spoke over your life, or your environment coined you into becoming this particular version. Because you know, Ms. Aggie, there's some people that are really mean, but deep down inside, they're really sweet. But it's just that everything that they've been through, Alicia, all the things that they have experienced has caused them to become that way. I want you to know who you are, whose you are, and understand why you're here, so that you can give back, so that you can live a life that's fulfilled. You can live that abundant life that God intended each and every one of his children to have. And so that's what I'm most passionate about. But yes, I'm an author. I'm a music artist. I'm a mommy. I'm a grandmommy. As a matter of fact, I'm a glamour. Okay. And I'm excited to share this platform with you ladies today. So all of you that are tuning in, I need you to go text somebody right now. I need you to text somebody, and I need you to forward this link, and I need you to like, and I need you to let them know that these girls, these ladies are about to have a deep conversation here today. If you haven't seen the topic, you're about to see it. You're about to hear about it. We are going there. So thank you for joining us today. And I am super excited.
I thank you, Janelle. I am excited as well, Janelle. And you know, my excitement is low key. But today I'm up there. It's almost at the end of the year. October just passed, November is here, and I can't believe that it's going on 3 years that we've been here. And had you told me that I would have been doing this, initially I would have said no. Then you said a year later, no, man, no, not Alicia. But it's almost 3 years, and I'm just excited at the fact that I have found my voice. And not only that I found my voice, but I'm trying to use it. I'm using it for those who don't have theirs, who haven't found theirs as yet, to let them know that you do have that voice. You're here for a purpose. You're not a mistake. And we are here because we've been where you are. And we might still be dealing with it too. But here we are representing you. Here we are being as transparent as possible to let you know that you are not alone. I am your forgiveness coach. And forgiveness coach, you probably never heard of one, if there is any else out there, but I am your forgiveness coach because forgiveness freed me. I had to learn that forgiveness was not for them, but for me. And as a result, learning to forgive. I don't know if there's such a thing as forgiving too much, but I am at peace. I am alive. I am thriving because I've learned to forgive. And therefore, I can guide you through that process as to what forgiveness look like. It might not be the same thing that freed you, but forgiveness, although it's a difficult pill to swallow, it is attainable. Because it's hard to forgive somebody after they've wronged you. And if that wrong has caused you so much trauma and so much pain, it's very challenging to forgive. So it's not an easy task, but it is attainable. We're going to go right in and get started with our topic this afternoon, and just recognize that we do have guests online with us. We have Miss Johnson, Miss Christopher, Miss Alexander. They're watching and they're excited to know what we have to talk about this afternoon. And Janelle, you know these topics that I come up with, I don't know.
They're beyond me, Alicia. They are so beyond me. But you never know what to expect. It can be something, whatever comes to your mind. But it's always powerful. I really believe it's divinely given to you.
This afternoon topic is My Toe Hurts Too. or my toe hurts. I must speak my dialect. My toe hurts. And not that is that my toe hurts. And you might wonder, what does that have to do with anything? And I'm not a professional or anything, but I found out that the foot and ankle is part of a complete system with about 28 bones. I'm reading it, and 33 joints and 112 ligaments. Okay, I found that somewhere on the internet, right? So it's a compact system. And a lot of times we take it for granted, or all the time, we take it for granted that the purpose of the foot or the feet is to carry us. We don't pay no attention to it. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you were created for. Let it happen until there's an ailment. Yes, your other body parts might hurt. I don't know if you ever hit your funny bone, because I've hit mine and there's nothing funny about it. I hit my funny bone and it sent a shock wave through my body, and I have to stop for a minute and recollect not to. I can't even say, but it's not funny at all. But what happened when that happened is that it sends a wave and it disappears. The pain after a while subside. And it's the same thing with your feet. You hit that toe, the pain triggers through your body. You stop for a moment, might put a few words out in the atmosphere, might internalize it, but then you continue as normal because eventually that pain disappears. And in some cases, in some instances, because I know of one, and I didn't even know your toe could break, where the individual stumped their toe. It was painful. They kept on with life as fast as usual. But a few days later, they noticed that the color changed. And long and short of it, the toe was broken. It looked fine on the inside initially. A few days later, there were some changes, and to find that it was broken. And that ailment not just affected the foot, but it affected the entire body. Your thought process, your emotion, because now you're sensitive. Anybody come close to that toe, it's an issue. You hit it again, it's an issue. And now you're walking off balance. You don't want to go downstairs and do anything. You don't want to go back upstairs. Because it changes so many things. And we have a tendency to not only do that with the pain that we feel from a hit or a bang or something, but that's what we do to our lives. We allow that pain to, it occurs, it triggers through, it's over with, and life goes on as normal. And again, like I've mentioned before, until you're bleeding, if I'm with Janelle and I say, Janelle, I just stubbed my toe, she's like, girl, you okay? And we're going our happy way. And if you need anything, let me know. But she does not see the pain that I'm feeling. And that's how we treat our soul. That's how we treat our spirit. That's how we treat ourselves. We go on as normal and we take care of everybody and not pay attention to that foot, not pay attention to that pain. And it affects so many areas of our lives. And not only that, it affects you directly, it affects your relationship. The way you deal with the next person that come close and want to touch you, get close to that foot or get close to that heart or get close because of that pain that we have never really taken the time to deal with. That destroys us and destroys us slowly that we are not aware of. Because what can happen, one of the things that can happen is that by ignoring that broken toe, it could have been to a point where it's not replaceable. It's not, it can't, you have to do some sort of surgery in order to fix it. It could have been that your blood poison, I'm not a doctor again, don't quote me for this, but it's affecting other areas of your body because there's some sort of infection. And that infection to me relates to the fact that we infect ourselves with the fact that we don't take care of us. We take care of everybody around us, but not us. But how can we help others without or before even addressing what we are dealing with?
That's really deep, Alicia. And when you first called me and gave me the topic, I was like, okay, I know that there is something behind this because I'm so used to you giving me these off the wall topics. So I said, okay, let me hear your point. And I think that so many of us women have been here or are still here where we have not dealt with the pain that we've experienced when we so-called hit our toe. Okay. I look at that metaphor as a heart. I don't know how many people I've spoken to that have experienced heartbreak. And I know firsthand what it feels like. It does not feel good. And a lot of times, church people, we go to church and they tell you, child, just pray about it. Just let the Lord gonna work it out. They don't give you no steps or no tools or no resources to get through it. And so what happens is, so when we enter another relationship, we have that baggage that's being suppressed here. Then we go into a new relationship that doesn't work out. And that baggage is suppressed here because we just feel like, okay, we just say a little simple prayer and it's going to work out. Nothing more, nothing less. And we just continue going through life and we continue making the same mistake or having the same experiences. And we're wondering, well, how in the world did I end up here again? And I remember having a conversation with a very good, dear friend of mine. We were talking about things that you won't confront. So if you won't confront something, then you could never really face it and conquer it because you won't really confront it. And us church people, we ain't confrontational. We just pray about it, sweep it under the rug, and hey, give God the praise. And prayer is essential and it is important and it is relevant, but you have to have the actions that go with your faith. So we know that faith without works is dead. So what are you doing to really heal, have that inner healing and that inner peace, and allowing the Holy Spirit to really minister to you so that when you go into a new situation, the outcome is different. And so I believe that this topic is really going to bless a lot of people. And I'm just bubbling up in my shoes right now, excited to hear Aggie talk, because even though I don't know all of her story, I know that as women, we go through things and we smile.
Yes.
But behind that smile, baby, if they were to sit down and just lay it on you, you'd be like, well, Lord God, I didn't know she was going through all of that. Or God, I didn't know she experienced all of that. But we're so good. We're so good at pretending because pretending is protection. Okay. Because I ain't telling nobody my business.
Yeah.
Child, because you ain't for me, no way. And I ain't giving you my business for you to give to nobody else. That's first of all. So we don't really have a circle of trust where we feel comfortable in letting people in to see our lives, letting people into our bedroom, so to speak, to see what we are really like. So, I mean, Alicia, this has got to be one of those most complicated, sweet topics that we're really going to talk about today. And we're going to be really transparent. And we want to know your story, Aggie. We want to know your story. Now, I know a lot of us, we know that, hey, we're on social media and we're out there. But the purpose of this platform, we're really looking to help people. They already got the fakeness from church. They already got they already go everywhere where they got all the, all the deep looking people and all this stuff going on. They got that. What they really need now, what this generation desire, they desire truth. Tell me why your relationship didn't work out. Help me to understand, what happened so that I know what I need to do or need not to do. So we want to hear your story, girl. We want to know, like, let's tell us how this topic is really real and relevant to you in your life.
Wow. I love the topic. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I am excited because the title itself, it says, My Toe Hurt Too. That itself is a cry for help. That is a cry for help, because with the two being added on to that, it's saying, I can no longer take anymore. I'm suffering too. I'm hurting too. It's a cry, like, hey, I'm seeking attention here silently, but my emotions are overflowing and saying, hey, I'm hurting too. Well, how I can relate to this, you see me, my glasses are on and off, so I might squint a little bit. I went to put some lashes on for the cameras, but it's interfering with my glasses.
That's why I
So,
mention those things.
yes. So I have to be with my glasses on and off, and when I can't see, I throw them back on, and then I got to take them off. So anyway, for me, I grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic, so everyone expects a good old Catholic girl to be a good old Catholic girl.
Mm.
So my parents, they always had high expectations of their kids, of their daughters especially. So my children's father, my boy's dad, he and I were married, of course, and he grew up Catholic, his mom and his dad. So it was just a Catholic family. So we were dating in high school. They say high school sweetheart and stuff like that. And we dated for a while. And my dad kind of had a problem with him coming over, to see his son because we would shut the door, of course, behind us because that's my room. But my dad had a problem with that even after I had my first son. So I was like, you know what? We got to make this right and so forth. I'm Catholic, he's Catholic, and we got to make this right and all of this good stuff. So anyways, we planned a wedding. We got married, but we got married, but everyone got married. It was never to say, oh, I'm in love and I want to get married. This is what I want to do. So here it is. I began carrying others, the weight of others, the expectation of others of me. I wanted to walk the straight path for others. So my life is actually based on wanting to make my parents proud, wanting to make them happy, of course, at my expense, at my happiness expense. So within the marriage, of course, there was love. I'm not going to deny that there wasn't love some part, in our relationship ever. There was love, of course there was. So anyways, within that marriage, it became a little shaky, and I was like, you know what, I am just so tired. And I kept saying I was tired. I kept saying I'm tired. And we became separated in the same house, but became separated. No one knew that. No one knew that. Just one of my very close friends, she knew that, and we were separated. And while we were separated, I started dating this guy, and this guy had my all, my everything. And yeah, he had everything. He had he had me, because even though I was married and I had 3 kids, I was not grown up. I didn't know what it was to be a woman until I met him. He grew me up.
Wow.
And I'm a very transparent person. I don't like sugarcoating nothing. So you get everything from me because I'm past those things, and I tell on myself. He grew me up. He showed me things. He did things to my body that I've never experienced. He called me baby. And that's something that my high school sweetheart growing up and marrying my husband never did. He just called me by my government name. But this guy, he came and swept me off my feet and he called me baby. So now we're going good and everything. But 3 years into the relationship, and I would do anything for him. I was ready to just let it all go just for this guy. So anyways, 3 years into the relationship, a friend of mine called me and said that he was getting married 5 months. I found out 5 months before he actually got married. So I'm like, girl, that ain't no true, girl. With this silly, the girl, that ain't no true, and he was getting married for real. So here it is. Everything is blowing up in my face. I have a aerobics class to get to. I am a nail technician by profession. So I did have my nails. I did do nails at my salon to get to. So here it is. I am having to deal with hearing this and having to still be an aerobic instructor and a nail technician to my clients, customers, and so forth. So I'm like, that ain't no true and so forth. So when I called him to ask him, but his attitude, his everything was changing about him. But when you're in love with someone, when he was athletic. He was athletic. He was politically drive, just like me. He was, tall.
He was fine, girl. He was
yeah,
fine.
he was fine. He was fine. He was fine. And I was like head over heels, you know. And when I found out, listen, he even got a citation and from the road traffic department, and I was helping him. He never got in trouble or anything. So they gave him this what it's something to go clean. They give you like probation or something to clean the church. Anyways, I went and I cleaned the church, you know, gone with him to clean the church that time. He's sitting on the bench and he's on his phone and he's smiling away. And I didn't put two and two together until afterwards. Here I am, I'm vacuuming, I'm cleaning because I'm helping out my man, you know, and he is already on the phone with his wife to be, and I'm doing all of this. So anyways, y'all know how the islanders are. When something happened to someone that is supposed to be this person that everyone looks up to, or this person that that can't go wrong, or this person they put on a pedestal. I didn't put me on a pedestal, but someone they put on a pedestal. This good old gal, you know, and to hear little rumors that she's messing up, because here it is, nobody knows that my husband and I aren't together, and so it is for the outside world. They're looking at, oh, you hear that? Oh, you just, so everyone is, you know, it was a talk of the town, you know, to hear that I was with this guy and he left and he was getting married. So even some of the people that I thought were my friends weren't, you know, and here it is, I still have to perform daily things, like still be a nail technician, still be a mommy, still be an aerobic instructor. So it was so hard for me to do all these things because the world had already put me on a pedestal. So even at times, my heart was broken when I went to my aerobics classes to do classes. So I would leave the things that we were doing, the aerobics that we were doing, the repetitions that we were doing, and I would walk towards my towel. But I would pretend as if I was walking to wipe away sweat, but I was walking away to wipe away tears. No one knew, so I was able to
camouflage
it for some people, but not for everyone, because the talk was out there. You know, the talk was out there that, yeah, child, you hear he's getting married? Well, child, he done took this woman to his mother's house. Child, you done do this and you done do that. You know, so there was a deep cry for help on the inside from me that no one heard. I was broken on the inside. And like you said on earlier, Miss Alicia, you said something that is so, you said, our feet carry us like we carry others. So here it is, I was carrying so much people. You know, I always wanted to live a life that my parents were so proud of, so pleasing, you know, because they were church people. I always wanted to live a life, because the ladies, when they were going through something, they would come to me and they would talk to me about their situation in the aerobics class, the ladies from there. So I was already ministering to women from then. So they would come to me and they would say, you know, I'm hurt and I'm this and I'm going through this and I'm going through that. And here it is. I'm supposed to be the lead person or the example. And I am in this place where I find myself crying out on the inside and needing them to be my rock. And that was the opposite way around. I still had to be their rock, although I was hurting, although I was in pain. You know, so when you presented, when Ms. Janelle presented this topic to me on yesterday, I said, wow, that is powerful. Because sometimes we walk around and the most beautifully dressed person, the prettiest lipstick, the most beautiful face made up, is sometimes the most broken person going around. Sometimes you walk around and you smile and you say hello, and because you're in the limelight, because you carry so much weight of being a leader, because you carry the weight of being perfect, because you carry the weight of wanting to be a good example. You're crying out, but no one can hear you, and you're still smiling. It's okay. You're still smiling because we put out, I call it a mask. We put this mask on, and it's the okay mask. But underneath that mask, it is so soggy with tears. It is so, the tears are dripping and it's coming down our shirt collars, but no one can see it. Because guess what? When your toe hurts, no one can see your toe but yourself unless you start to walk with a limp. So until you begin to bleed, then you would get some attention. But until that, but if that toe ain't bleeding, like you said, until that toe, and another thing you said was that we know that something is wrong within our bodies because we feel the pain. But how about when you know your heart is broken, or when you have to deal with certain pain and no one else can see it? No one is coming to your rescue. No one can see that pain. And that is where I was when I had to deal with that pain of being rejected and feeling broken and feeling lost and feeling like maybe I didn't do this good enough in bed. Maybe I wasn't pretty enough. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I wasn't light-skinned enough. Maybe, all of the maybes, all of the doubts, all of the things that could go through my mind, went through my mind. And I even, and so much so that I wanted to move closer to be with him. I couldn't move him into the home where I was at. So I left my home. I left and I went to an apartment closer to where he would be, and he would have more access to me, because I was like, maybe because maybe because he doesn't have access to me enough. So I'm going to make myself accessible so that he will be, so that he can have me. If he had a habit, he had a gambling habit. So I was like, maybe I would make him, I would please him by giving more to him so that he can be pleased when he goes to gamble, because I don't want him to feel frustrated because he doesn't have it to gamble. So I would give my last. And then I realized the bills was mounting up in the apartment. My ex-husband, he had already left the home. The bills was mounting up, and he was going missing even more times. So that didn't change anything. It was just my perception of how things were going to be. That is what I wanted. I wanted it to be, well, maybe if I move. So this is what I even went as far as tormenting the other woman, because now she's putting up pictures on Facebook with her husband to be. And as she puts up those pictures on Facebook, I wasn't her friend at the time, but her page was open. So what I did, I sent her a friend request. And when I sent her a friend request, because she had put up those pictures in a particular outfit, and I know that we were together when we took those, and I took those pictures with my phone, and I sent her the pictures with myself and him in the same outfit that he had on, so that she can see, maybe he wasn't by himself when he took those pictures, he was with me. So now here it is. I said to her, so you're getting married, huh? And she did not respond. I said, well, we will see. And then when I sent her the pictures, then she responded and said, we will see. And then she blocked me. And then how about he confronted me about those things? So I'm here because he had told me, he said, I'm going to fix this. I did this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this, baby. I'm going to fix this. And he was crying along with me that he was going to fix it, knowing he wasn't going to fix it for real. But I was praying. I knew in my heart that he wasn't going to fix it, but I was still hopeful that he might have fixed it, because I had become in a place feeling desperate. Go ahead.
So, I wanted you to stop right there, because
Jenna, before you go any further, Jenna,
I know you got something to say, Alicia, and I'm definitely going to give you the floor, because I see you when I see her moving like this. I know you got something to say, but this is so. This platform is exactly for this exact thing, Aggie, when we could really be real women.
Yeah.
And we could really talk about things that we really experience for real.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you look back at it in hindsight, you're like, boy, I was stupid, eh? Boy, I can't believe I did something like that. But anyway, Alicia, I'm gonna hit some points later, because I got a couple of more questions and I want to touch on a few things that you talked about. But I'm gonna let Alicia have the floor.
No, I was just that I'm just thinking, she's telling a story and she's telling it with a smile. And it's I'm not quite sure how long ago that was, But again, like you mentioned, we wear these masks. And because we have perfected it so well, we can, and because we've been through that journey, we're on that journey, we're still healing, we are able to tell these stories with a smile. You know, when I talk about my sexual abuse, people wonder, what? How can you just talk about? Because I know who I am. I've discovered my purpose. I didn't always know. I didn't always know what, I didn't always feel like I was the prettiest. No, you can't tell me I'm not.
Okay. That's right.
I've learned that beauty is not just on the outside. That's something I did not know. So, I appreciate you sharing that with us and not just saying, well, you were hurt, but what you did to try and combat that hurt. What you did to try and get not necessarily even, but get what you thought was yours. And, we, it's sad to say that it's happening more often than we think, or more often than it should.
Mm-hmm.
And the root of it, I'm reluctant to say this, but I have to say the root of it is in our home. That's where it starts. A child is not born angry.
Wow.
A child is not born with jealousy, with hatred, with well, this is mine, it's not yours, I'm not supposed to share. That's something they learn at home.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they go to a daycare, whatever, it is learned behavior. Yes, they will have their own personality. Yes, they will stray. Yes, they will go through, have their own life story. But ultimately, it starts there. And it starts with us as parents, them as parents, our parents that you try to please, having that conversation with us. How did they deal with us? What did they say? What did they not say? Instead, they just threw all these expectations, and we were supposed to live up to it. Live up to these expectations without a conversation. And meanwhile, the hurt that we felt then was never even dealt with. And now it's hurt on top of hurt. And how do we fix hurt with hurt?
Yeah.
Hurt people hurt people.
And there's no
Hurt
solution.
people. Yeah.
There's no solution, because guess what? Unless one of us decide that we're going to be the change, we end up all hurting our own children. Your 3 boys.
Yeah.
Jana is my son, because we haven't dealt with it. We haven't dealt with us. We haven't dealt with that toe that is hurting by saying, you know what? Tomorrow when I get home, I'm going to prepare a foot bath. I'm going to spend that time with my feet and say, have even a conversation with your feet, crazy as it may sound. You've done so much for me, and I've neglected you. And it sounds crazy that I'm saying talk to your feet, but talk to yourself. I have done so much for me, and I have neglected me. God has done so much for me, and I've neglected him. And how can I get up and go out and smile and want to please everybody every day and live this life and keep this when I'm not even happy? And how can I, because we learn to look to others. We learn this. It's something we learn, to look to others for our happiness. That's something that was taught to us. We weren't taught that we find our own happiness here. We learn to look for it somewhere else. All the likes we get on Facebook, that's our happiness. No, it's not.
My God.
Your happiness come from God. Your happiness come from knowing that you have a situation you've been through. At least mine comes from that. I have a situation. I've been through it. I found the good in it. And now I can tell somebody else and help somebody else who think that they don't know how to deal with it, that think that they're going through it alone.
But Alicia, but all of us, we're from the island, and we know very well about those expectations. Don't let your parents be something in the community.
Oh, geez.
I couldn't even go. I couldn't even go to the store without them asking me, "Your mom know where you is? Your daddy know where you are?" It was Rev daughter this and Rev daughter that. It was, your life was always under a microscope. And so that expectation and that pressure, Aggie, I completely understand what that must have felt like. But what it does is when you get older, And Alicia, know that I got this perfection issue. When you get older, it causes you to be controlling one because you need to control the situation.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm, that's a problem I have. It got to go a certain way unless I'm frustrated. Okay.
Right.
So you know others have this expectation, so you're always trying to achieve, not
Yeah.
because you feel like it's going to fulfill your purpose, but they are going to say, look at what she's done.
Yeah.
Look at what they did. And
Wow.
you feel like they're going to admire it, and then you put it on Facebook and everyone says, oh girl, you're doing a good job. I like that.
Yes.
One of the things that I've learned, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and for those of you
Wow.
that are tuned in, you cannot let someone or anyone else other than God tell you who you are, give you your identity, because today your friends may want you to identify as this. Tomorrow, they may
Right.
want you to identify as that. And we know that we're living in an age of identity crisis.
Mhm.
It's something that I've never heard about, but that's where we are, and that's reality. So people are confused more than ever before. You've got to not let people label you.
Yes.
That's why it's important to know your purpose and to know who you are, whose you are, and why you're here, and where you're going and how you're going to get there. Because if you don't know where you're going, any road, you jump on in a plane and you go and they ask you where you going. I don't know, just take me. You may end up in Singapore. Oh no,
Mhm.
this is where I want to be. Where you going? I don't know. You may end up next plane land in Africa. You're going all over the place and incurring a lot of unnecessary baggage and stress along the way. But if you find
Mhm.
out who you are and you say, God, I'm confused right now. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. And I don't know which direction you want me to go in. If you ask him, for all those who ask, they receive.
Yes.
You seek, you find, you knock, and the door is open. But you got to do something, baby. You
Yes.
ain't gonna just sit down there and just pray and wish and hope. But you've got to physically, actively seek. And then
Mhm.
once you begin to seek out, God, why am I here? He will begin to reveal to you through his word, through his voice. This is what I want you to do, daughter. This is what I want you to do, son, and you do it. So that you understand, at least when you get that down pack of who your identity or who you are in Christ, then you know, okay,
Mhm.
when people come and put this pressure on you, but
Mhm.
what they want you to be, how they want you to achieve, you won't feel the pressure, because Alicia said it right. We pass it on to our kids.
Yes.
We put that pressure onto them. Look here, if you ain't on the honor roll, we got a problem. But
Yeah.
Aggie, we don't want them to be on the honor roll because we want them to be smart. We just
Right.
want Sister Sue to know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
on the honor roll, and we don't want them
That's
to know we got a
true.
dumb child.
Come on now.
It ain't got nothing to do with, oh,
Wow.
I really care about your well-being.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
child, because you know what they're gonna say. Whenever we do
Exactly.
anything, if you don't get nothing we say today, you got to get delivered from people.
Yes.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yes.
You. I've seen people go into expenses for a wedding
Yes.
to please people,
Mhm.
and 3 years later, the wedding is no more.
Yep.
What happened to all those people that you pleased? What happened to all that money you got? You need to get yourself a refund, babes.
Yes.
But we have to live that life where we know who we are. We're confident enough, Alicia. We're
Mhm.
confident enough to walk separate than the crowd,
Mhm.
to walk in the opposite direction, and not be afraid to walk alone. So Aggie,
Yep.
so this story was just getting so good, Alicia,
I know,
because
right?
I want to know what happened. Our
And
listening ears and our audience want to know what happened. So you fall in love with this guy. He's
Mhm.
fine. He's everything that you've ever imagined. He took you to the clouds, brought you back down to the earth, and
yes, he
and
said
you're
that.
in love.
Oh yeah.
And now you got this bomb dropped on you that he's marrying someone else.
Uh huh.
And now you're questioning yourself like, what's wrong with me? Alicia, have you ever questioned yourself before, like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with me?
I question myself a lot of times as to what is wrong
Yeah.
with me. And now, we do it. We all do it. What is wrong
Yeah.
Yeah.
with you? Is it not going the way that you expect it to go?
Right.
It's
And you're
not
trying to figure out what are
necessarily
they
going in the
looking
wrong
for?
direction, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not going the way we expect it to go.
Right.
And we want to
Right.
beat up on ourselves. But did we ask him first if that's what he wanted us to do? We didn't take
My
That's
the
it. You
time.
God.
know, we humans and
Listen.
we do our
Listen.
own little thing, Aggie.
Our,
So
yes. Yes. We do our
so
own little thing.
after you move closer and
Mm-hmm.
you felt like, okay, you needed to please him, because there you go again,
Right.
wanting to please him so that you
Mhm.
can get that satisfaction
Right.
of
All
worthiness. That's what it was.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Satisfaction of worthiness, that
Mhm.
approval from your parents,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that approval from the
Mm-hmm.
Catholic Church,
Yes.
And
Yes.
approve for your
that
Yes.
children too.
approval
Yes.
from your children,
Mhm.
Yep.
and
Mm-hmm.
you was willing to go all out to prove
All
a
out.
point.
All
And she
out.
left somebody out. The approval for her. She didn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
even she
Yeah.
didn't even address that. That didn't even matter.
Yes.
regardless of how she was feeling, regardless
Mhm.
of the pain that she was
Yeah. Oh
experiencing
yeah.
inside, her toe was hurting.
It was
Mhm.
hurting.
She was going through, but she needed to push through because her
Yes.
eyes were set on the prize.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then what happened? What happened after?
Well, I think I just want to answer. I think Miss Alicia said that it starts in the home, and it does start in the home. And actually, that is one of my first chapters in my book that I wrote about this. It does start in the home, and that chapter is called "Reapers of My Ancestors." And the reason I said "Reapers of My Ancestors" is sometimes because when you grow up in a home, and on the islands, we know that there was only some houses where some homes where the parents would say, "I love you" to their children. That was not a norm on the island where parents would say, "I love you." Their way of saying "I love you" were provision, the way they
Yes.
provided, the way they took care of the home. I knew my parents loved me. I knew my dad loved me because he always provided. He paid for everything that I needed in school. But to actually hear someone come in and sweep you off your feet and say, "I love you, baby, I love you," that was different. But see, had I been coming up in that, then it wouldn't have been like someone could just sweep me off of my feet. My husband said, "I love you" also, but it wasn't done in that way, like, baby, and trying to, like, a protective way. I felt protected. But let me get to the good part. You said that I tell the story with a smile on my face. I do, because God is just faithful. He's an awesome God. And he got married. He did get married. I was sick. I had lost like about 18 pounds, and I think in less than 2 weeks, I had lost 18 pounds. I cried every night. I felt so hurt, so broken, so rejected, so lost, because even though I was hurting, I was still willing to go an extra mile to make him see me. Although I was hurting, I was still trying to do so much that he would see me, and that he would call everything off, but it didn't happen. So he did go on to get married, and he actually got married in one of the belts that I bought him. And I don't know if Janelle, you might probably know what is a land belt, but that's a very expensive belt in the
Yes.
Bahamas. And I
Yes.
bought him a land belt. I think it was for Valentine's that year. And Valentine's was February. I found out in March. He got married in December. Yeah. And no, I found out, I think I found, anyways, however, but I found out, and he got married in December in the belt that I bought for him. And I even within being in that apartment and the bills mounting up, and it was on the second floor, and I didn't have any curtains to the window, and I would just look out, and it was pitch black, and all I could see is the stars. And I kind of related to that darkness. I related to the darkness because everything in my life was black. Everything, my love life had failed. I was married. I was no longer married. That didn't work out. So everything. So I begin to look at myself as a failure. I begin to look at myself like I wasn't worthy. I begin to see myself as, wow, I messed up. I messed up big. But I still had to suck it up and go to my house. I suck it up because I didn't have the money to pay the bills anymore. I was losing customers because I didn't have the drive to work. So I was losing customers. I didn't even go to aerobics class that often. I would tell the girls, them, have classes today, and I would tell them what to do. So I didn't go. So my drive was very, very low. Then 2 years into his marriage, he calls me, or 2 years, I believe, into he calls me, and he said to me, and all I wanted him to say to me was, why did you do, me like you did me? But he called me 2 years into his marriage, and he said that his marriage is no longer. And I was like, your marriage is no longer. What did you do? Because 2 years now, I'm done getting there now. You know what I mean? Because God had already dealt with me. I cried so much that I was like, you know what? It's time for me to just, face the music, face everything. I've done everything that I could, but I lost. At the end of the day, I lost. I did not have him. Someone else had him. Okay, it was time. Although hurting, that was when I came to God. I grew up in church all my life, but I did not know God the way I knew him then. I had a personal encounter with God. I was crying so much one day, and and I heard the voice of God, and he sent me somewhere, and I went to this place. He sent me to the beach where I was crying, and he was holding me, and I was like, God, why you bring me out here? And when I turned around to go back to my car, then I hear the voice of God said, this is where it started and this is where it ends, no more. So I was like, wow, and I started to believe. And then I found a church. I went to an apostolic church. I got baptized. And when he called me and he said to me that his marriage was failing, and I said to him, what did you do? Why is your marriage failing? With an angry voice, I was like, what did you do? Why is it? Because I was thinking like you're cheating and so forth and this and that, and he was like, well, this happened and that happens. And she didn't want me anymore because she was trying to control me and all these things, all these things he was telling me. So he still didn't say, please forgive me. And I said to him, did you realize how deep you hurt me? Because I have to say, because he's talking to me. You're talking to a person that you left for dead. You're talking to a person that you left for dead. And here it is, you telling me that something I was trying to stop you from doing because of my heart, but you went and you did it anyway. You didn't care if I lived or died, because I did end up in the hospital from panic and anxiety attack. And, and you just went and you did it anyway. So I realized my strength when he came and he told me his marriage was failing. And I realized my strength because then I was able to pray for him and with him. I was then being compassionate towards him. I was then carrying him after he had bruised my toe. Now, after he had walked on my toe, after, of course, my toe to be gushing with blood, and I'm trying to hold that toe together, you still didn't turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry for walking on your toe. But here it is. Now your toe is in pain. Your toe is bruised. And here it is. I am telling you, put your feet up. Let me stitch this toe for you. Let me fix this for you. So, so that was where I was. And I was only there because of God. I was not there on my own strength. Mm-hmm. I was not there because of me. I was there all because of God and where God had taken me within the space of 2 years. It was rough. It wasn't easy. It was rough because I loved him. And I was humiliated publicly for this person. I was the topic at the round table in the kitchen, in their kitchen. Listen, so you did all this to me, and here it is. Now I have to put the bandages on your toe. Because when my toe was bruised, I didn't have anyone to lean on or carry me, So my toe hurt then too. My toe hurt as well. And I needed someone to carry me, and no one was there, but,
It hurts. It hurts. And, the good thing about it is that we go through things sometimes and we want to see it as being all bad. This is horrific. This is horrible. And in the moment, it is. But if we take a moment to realize that there is some good in it, maybe there's a reason for this. And that's something I had to teach myself too. That, okay, let me find the good in it. Because if I stay and I wobble in the pain, if I stay and wobble in this pain, maybe I stub my toe because I wasn't supposed to be over there. Maybe I stubbed my toe in order for it to hold me back a minute from being there at that time. But if we decide that if you stump your toe and you say, you know what, you put the curse words out there and you still thresh forward to be there for 6 o'clock, you didn't see the purpose in it. You didn't find the positivity in it because you still want what you want when you want it. If we find the good, just like you did, in what took place with you at the time, it was horrible. Like you said, you lost weight, you had the anxiety attack, but you knew who to turn to. You had to
But I
have
want
them.
to, sorry. I just wanted to jump in there before I forget what I was going to say, because to relate to what you're saying, sometimes though, pain could be a good thing because pain is a door or an escape. Sometimes pain is an escape. See, because sometimes pain causes you to release. Because if you're having pressure on that toe, and I know sometimes the doctors would prick your toe to release the pressure and the pus and the blood from that toe that is causing you pain. And the moment that they do that, the pain starts to die down a bit. All the thumping and all the things from that toe, the pain starts to go away from it. So it is just like when we're hurt, the pain, sometimes we feel as though we're not going to get over it. We feel as though it's going to take us out. We're going to die in this pain. But sometimes that is a way out. That is our escape. Sometimes God uses the pain to bring us out. And when I look back, like Janelle said on earlier, I was like, and I'm like, God, I like, woo, God, I am so happy you took me out of that. You know, you look back sometimes, you have a look back sometimes moment and say, what I was thinking, where I was going.
Sure.
You know, so sometimes, so those pain be good escape sometimes. You know, so like God said to Paul, my grace is sufficient, and His grace keeps all of us in the pain, in our moments of pain. But you know, most of the time, I just want the listening audience to know that sometimes you're not gonna die in your not sometimes you're not going to die in your pain. Right. Your pain may be a way out, or it may be an escape door for you to get out, so that you can begin the healing process.
And if we ignore that pain, if we ignore us, if we decide we're not going to deal with it, and we allow it to fester more, again, like I say, it affects our relationship. And it starts in the home, because if I don't deal with what's bothering me, what's ailing me, my relationship with my child is not productive. His relationship on the outside is not productive. Whether it be his future relationship, his in school, on a job, it's not productive because of what I have taught him.
Right.
Because of my experiences, because I put it on him without even realizing it. And consciously, we have to address what we are dealing with. We have to remove us from the situation, because a lot of times we don't get ahead. It's because we stand in the way. Yeah. It's not about people. It's we stand in our own way. We block our own happiness, our own success, our own joy. It's about us. And it's not the easiest thing to do, because we have learned to be gratified by everything that takes place. Social media tell us it's supposed to be this way. Our parents have these expectations, being islanders, you know, our parents, who your parents are. My parents were police officers. And on a small island like Antigua, everybody knew everything. You know, I'm going to tell your mother this, I'm going to tell your mother that. Does your mother know what? And so we allow that to control us. We allow that to take over. And we allow the saying that children are to be seen and not heard. We don't get an opportunity to use our voice. We have to give the next generation an opportunity to use their voice after we have healed. Yeah. We're still in the healing process, but we're thriving. And it doesn't make sense for us to be thrivers and be silent about it.
My God.
And I do think that there is passion, there is purpose and pain.
Yeah.
A lot of times you find your purpose and your pain. And now that God has taken us through that, we're able to minister to other women, and we're able to tell them that I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through because I've been there. But the same God that was able to take me from point A to point B, where I am right now, and I'm free and I'm delivered, is the same God that we're going to pray to right now. We're going to ask him to do the same for you. And so a lot of times that pain teaches you compassion. And a lot of times the pain that you experience is not even for you, it's for somebody else. Alicia, that you may not have been able to figure out in your mind why you had to go through what you did, but it was so that you can give a voice to other people. God knew that at this stage of your life, he was going to use you. He was going to use your voice to free other people that had your exact same experience. And let me tell you something. If you start to talk to someone about something that you ain't never experienced, they can be the first to tell you how you know. You ain't never been through this. I can't tell nobody what it's like being on the street. I can't tell nobody what it's like being homeless because I've never experienced it.
Right.
But if you want to know about other things and things that I've experienced, I got a degree in that.
Yeah.
T-shirt.com, you name it.
Come on.
So
now.
today, ladies and gentlemen, and for all of you that will be watching this video in years to come, what we're trying to say today is you need to take care of something, whatever that thing is that's hurting you, whatever that thing is that's a repetitive cycle in your life that keeps bringing you back to the same place over and over again. You need to deal with it. You need to take time out. You need to hit the reset button, and you need to ask God, how do I move on from this place of hurt? How do I move on from this place of bitterness? And how do I let you, God, lead me and direct me into all truth and bring the right people into my life? Because that's the story that I want to read about next in your book, Aggie. I want to know, honey. I want to know, honey. I want to know how he took all of that pain, showed you your purpose, and now gave you your print. See, I want to know I want to know the end of the thing, because I believe that, God is the author and the finisher of our faith, and he knows the end from the beginning. So I want to know what the end is going to look like. And I'm excited about our future, ladies. I'm excited about the future of those of you ladies that are tuning in. I'm so super excited. Yes, we've been through a lot. Yes, we had a lot of crazy things happen, especially in the last year, but we are excited about the future that God has for each and every one of us, because guess what? We're still here. We're alive. And you thought that we was going to not be doing this program today, or that by now it should have been all done and burnt out. But glory be to God, we are still here. Amen. We ain't going nowhere until God redirects us into another direction, because there are a lot of people that need to hear what we got to say. Amen. And we will not be quiet. No. It's not one of those politicians, but anyway, I'm just so excited, Aggie, to have you as a part of our platform today and our guest. Your story was amazing, and I'm still in it, and I can't wait to see the very end. So, Alicia, thank you so much for having me on the show. We always talk about it. An hour is never enough. It's not enough, but
it's a taste.
It's just a snippet. That means next month, which is December, the last month of the year. Now we're bringing it home in December. You best believe, baby doll, we're bringing it home in December, and hopefully, Alicia, I'm hoping that we can get all of our previous guests that we've had on the show, that we can get them all on, and we can do something really special and end our year strong. What'd you think about that, Aggie?
That would be nice. I love the idea.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I love you guys. You can find me on Facebook. I am She Inspired Women. I'm on Instagram as Miss She Inspired Speaks. And you can just inbox me. If you want help, you want me to coach you, to get you to finding out your purpose and get you to live your best life now without needing the approval from others, I'm your girl. I'm your girl, Janelle, and I will be more than happy to help you. So just hit me up, and I'll be happy to help guide you through the journey with the chit chat with Journey
Amen. That's
Sisters.
right.
Thank you so much, Janelle. Miss Angie.
Thank you so much for having me on the show today. I am so super excited for where God is taking this platform. And I know that I will be back, of course, in the audience watching as you continue on with this show. I really enjoyed myself. I love it, love it, love it. And I'm excited about the reunion of bringing back all of the guests. I'm super excited. And you can find me on Facebook as Ivy and Timothy. You can find me on Facebook. Also, my book that I speak, my story is in my book, and my book is called My Name is Not Leah. We all know the story about Leah in the Bible, Leah and Rachel. Leah was rejected by Jacob, and my name is not Leah. So you can find my story in my book. It's on Amazon. I also have another book on Amazon. It's called In His Waiting Room. You can find that there on Amazon as well. And I'm also on Instagram. You can find me there as well. And I also do women shows every last Friday or 2 Fridays of the month. We've just taken a little short break, but we will resume this month, God's willing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being our guest, Miss Angie. I have had quite a few beautiful ladies and gentlemen on this program, and all of us have a story. Not had a story, we have a story. All of you have a story, and it might not be the same, but regardless, we deal with some were painful, some were more painful than others. But there's a reason why your story was given to you and not to me. And there's also a reason why we were brought together to be the voice of those who don't have a voice. I thank our audience for being so engaging, encouraging, the comments, be yourself, Miss Christopher, be yourself, know your worth. They absolutely enjoy the program. We had Miss Linda joining us. We are so blessed that what we spoke about this afternoon on each program might not be for everybody, but at least hopefully it's for one person that is going through it, that's been through it, that want to know that how can they be a voice as well. There's a person who's saying, I need help. Can I just speak with you? Can I just share my story? I realize that you hurt the same way I do too. And importantly, I say take care of us. That's something that we fail to do. Take care of that toe that is bruised. Take care of that toe that is throbbing. If it calls for you to take an extra hour in the evening before going to bed and put in some Epsom salt in some water and just soak in your feet. If it calls for you to buy an extra pillow, $5, so you can have a pillow foot, a foot pillow to elevate it. If it calls for you to, get up a little early in the morning and take a few minutes to just massage your feet, deal with that. Confront yourself and not pass it on to the next generation. Let them have a voice too. Have a conversation with them. Let them voice their opinion and give them constructive feedback. Tell them what we've been through, what we are going through, so that they can better understand and know how to deal with it if it occurs in their life. So they can see the signs. Because a lot of things that we deal with is because our parents were not transparent with us. They make it seem like a perfect world, that everything was fine. The only problems they had were finance. We can't afford this, we can't afford that. But outside of that, everything is fine. Everything wasn't fine. Everything is not fine. And our children need to know this as well, so they know how to deal with it. I am your forgiveness coach. Forgiveness freed me. Forgiveness is peace. Forgiveness is everything to me. I don't know where I would have been, and the things that happened to me plunged me to this place so that I can take you there as well. You can find me on Facebook as my name, Alicia Alexander, or She Forgave, and you can find me on Instagram as She Forgave One. An hour is never long enough, but we just want to give you a snippet, a taste of the fact that we are human too, who are experiencing what you have experienced. And we hurt too. Our toes hurt too. Our lives hurt, our souls hurt. Thank you for joining us. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you in December. That's end of 2022, going into 2023. God has blessed us and has brought us thus far. We have a work to do. It's not over yet. And thank you again for joining us. See you next month.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.